everybody, it's Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse and Live with Cindy. It's Friday, we made it through another week. We love spending time with you. We love that you guys tune in for this 30 minutes so we can entertain you and bring you content, bring you everything that's happening in our beautiful city. Again, if you guys want to be featured or you've got something you want to talk about on the show and we can spotlight your business, hit us up on social media at The Pulse SD or on the website, thepulsesd.com, and we can figure out how to spotlight you because we would love that. So we have a great show for you today, but before we get started, I've got to thank my sponsor, Coffee Ambassador, keeping us caffeinated. We love them. They do coffee service right. They've been doing coffee delivery in San Diego for over 50 years. We love them. So thank you. We don't do anything unless we're caffeinated. So thank you to Coffee Ambassador. Okay, you guys, so quickly, I have to talk about events because events are back officially. We literally have been invited to so many events in the last few weeks. It's crazy. I almost can't believe it feels like it's normal again. So we've been to some pretty cool ones, and I wanted to talk about one that we just went to last week. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram. We went to a crazy Alice in Wonderland adventure downtown at the Card Hotel, which is fabulous. It's in their wine bar. They took over the entire wine bar. I think we're showing you some photos and pictures. What it's called is an immersive cocktail experience. You answer riddles to find potions, which are little bottles of liquor, and then you make custom cocktails.
Awesome.
It was the coolest thing ever. It's really interactive. I mean, you have to walk around, you have to get different things to get to the next step, and so it's very interactive. And we were actually, Israel and I were beheaded by the Queen, both of us, of course, and the Queen, whose real name was Dustin the Barbarian, I kid you not. So funny. I mean, he was completely in like dress and everything, so fabulous. So basically, you guys, I think you should check this out if you haven't. It's also very Instagrammable. Everybody wants that perfect Instagram spot with these perfect pictures. This is the place for you. It's called the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. It's happening until June 26th. It's 90 minutes, interactive experience, and it starts at about $50 a person. So who doesn't want to see Alice in Wonderland? So check it out, you guys. We have all the details on our website. Check out our Instagram, our reels. Fabulous. I highly recommend it. So your next thing downtown. Okay, so I want to start. We're going to talk about some other fun events during the break, but I want to start our show today because we have such a great show. Speaking of mothers today, we have two fabulous mothers that I call boss babes on our show. We're starting out with our financial expert, who we love to have, Windus Fernandez-Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial.
Thank you for having me. And it is Mother's Day, and I'm very excited about this weekend.
I know, I'm so excited. We love to have you because we always have great conversations when you're here. You're always talking us off the ledge. when it comes to finances. So I want to talk about a few things, but before we dive in, for the viewers that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about Trilogy and what you do.
So Trilogy is an independent financial planning firm, and our goal is to really understand where a client is right now, where they want to go, and how we can help them. So this will be anything from a business owner who is getting ready to exit their business and wants to have better education about how to do that, all the way down to someone who's just starting out who just needs core financial planning, like how much do I save to get started? How do I save for a house? How do those things come to fruition in my life?
Well, I love that. And what I think was different and what sets you apart is it's teamwork, right? It's like the heart of everything that you do.
Absolutely.
So it's not just one advisor, it's a team, it's collaborative with you guys.
100%. We have a team of 7 here in San Diego that helps. Gary and I have been partners for 20 years now at Trilogy, and we basically raise financial advisors into our team straight out of college.
Amazing, I love it, and I can attest to the team because I work with them, so it's fabulous. All right, so we're gonna talk about a new year, right? It's a new year, new beginnings, new possibilities, fresh chances to be that millionaire that you wanna be, right? Or whatever it is that you wanna be. So we're all kind of in a state of panic right now about our finances. I talk to people a lot of the time at events, things that are happening, and everybody's sort of like, how do I simplify things, right? How do I reach my money goals? Because a lot of people have them. So today, I'm hoping that you can tell us, obviously probably not to panic right now. It's probably the first thing.
Of course. So we can start with where we're at in the market cycle. Right now, this is a correction. It has not turned into a recession. A recession is ultimately defined by 2 consecutive quarters of contraction in the market, in the economy. Okay. Now, we did officially mark a first quarter of contraction, but if you were to compare the contraction we saw in the first quarter to, for example, the flash recession we had in 2020, the contraction was like dip my toe in the water for a contraction, not really signaling some massive recession. And in addition to that, like earnings for companies are still very strong. I think we've gotten so addicted to things moving fast that this has lasted for a long time, and it's making people feel like there's this like gloomy cloud. It could turn into a recession. No one can say it isn't going to, but you're also going to live through a lot of recessions in your financial planning life, and they're not the end of the world.
Good advice. I love that. Okay, so for people that really want to reach their money goals in 2022, I know you've got some steps for us today that are simple that we can do. So one of the things that I love that you always kind of talk to me about is getting a clear view of your finances.
Right.
I feel like that's so important.
Well, and a clear view of your finances also entails understanding what you're working towards. Like, and for us, there's a lot of books that'll break it down, like know what your 10-year vision is, what's your 5-year vision, what's your 1-year vision, and inside of that 1-year vision, like, do you need to plan for a vacation, which I know we'll talk about later. But you have to understand, if I earn $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, and I have these are my fixed expenses, what do you have left to spend on everything else, and how is that going to happen? It doesn't just happen by you saying, oh, it'll be fine, I'll put it on a credit card and then I'll figure it out later. So the goal we have is so that people can really have a intentional planning process around what they want to spend and to make it happen.
Well, and tracking your expenses, right? Because that's so important. And there's a lot of apps out there, but you guys have something on your website to track expenses.
Right, so we take a financial planning approach of 2 ways. Sometimes people don't track their expenses, but they know exactly how much they have left over each month to plan for the extras. So some people don't need to track it too closely, and other people come to us and they're like, well, I think I'm living a little bit too close to what I earn. And in that case, we'll break it down, like how much are you spending in which areas? Do we see areas where there's excessive spending? Or for example, like I found a client paying for 2 different cable companies. Like sometimes you're paying for things you don't even know you're paying for, and we'd like to raise some awareness around that.
I know, that's really important. Okay, so emergency funds, right? Everyone's kind of talking about that. You take sort of baby steps with your emergency fund. What can you offer as far as advice on that?
So some people know of Dave Ramsey, and like one of Dave Ramsey's first steps is to have an emergency fund of $1,000. Now that's a great baby step towards an emergency fund, but a real emergency fund, especially in San Diego, where I know Bridget's going to talk about the real estate in a little bit, when you own a house here and you've paid a lot of money for the house, like putting a new roof on could be a $10,000 experience, a $15,000 experience. So an emergency fund in San Diego specifically may need to be a little bit higher just so that you are not caught off guard.
Well, and I can just attest, we had, with our dog, we just had an emergency that came up, $15,000. And we had already kind of decided we were putting expenses in other places. So we weren't prepared. Luckily, we had dog insurance, so that helped us a lot and paid for like 90% of everything. But like you said, you have to be prepared. So would you recommend starting with something small, like $1,000? Like what would you say? Just baby step, like what do you do?
Well, it really depends on your income level, right? Like,
okay.
$1,000 is the absolute minimum cash anyone should have. But quite frankly, if you're a homeowner and you're earning $100,000, your income, your emergency fund should be in that $15,000 range, maybe $20,000.
Okay.
And then it may need to be higher if you're in a career path that's more volatile. So like some career paths get stable income and you're not fireable, maybe like a government employee or something along those lines, right? Mm-hmm. But other career paths have more volatility and you want to prepare for that.
That makes sense. And what about like automating longer term savings, right?
Oh yeah, anytime you can have something like grabbed from your bank account that you may not even notice, and then it can scroll away to some other place that you may not even notice, is like a fantastic way of growing savings. It's also the best way for you to grow your retirement. The bottom line for retirement is having a set amount of your income go towards retirement, and setting it and forgetting about it is the best way to have success and actually
you don't
retire
spend
on time.
It goes right to
just
that.
Like get it out and learn to live off of what's left.
I know, I think that's really important. Okay, so I want to talk about debit cards, right? Because I know a lot of people here, paying off your debt with credit card debt. Everyone's got credit card debt. Everyone's always talking about it here. So I was always told, you pay off the higher interest rates, but is that necessarily true? Like, what's your take on debt?
There's 2 different strategies for the debt. There's the avalanche and then the snowball. One's where you're paying off the smallest balances so that your minimums are then, you're adding more to the next card and you're paying off the next card faster. So you're eliminating lines. So again, it goes back to you don't know how much emergency fund you need. It depends on your situation. the debt payoff can really be dependent on what kind of debt you have. Like, are we talking car loans and student loans? Or are we talking like, I have a home equity line and then 16 credit cards? And so it's just really going to structure it. And sometimes I find that people have more psychological enjoyment by eliminating the lines of credit. So that in that situation, we would try to pick the smallest debt first, so that they feel like they're making
like
progress.
You accomplished something.
Yes, and half the battle is you feeling good about the path you've picked.
Right. Well, and I guess you can always call and try to get your interest rates lowered, although right now they're really not doing that
credit
now.
card companies aren't really, like, sometimes negotiating in that way with the credit card companies sometimes can be a detriment to your credit or cause them to, like, it depends.
But you can help and put people on a plan if that's something
Yes.
that they can come in and talk to you about, which is
Absolutely.
good. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, planning for some fun too, right? Because we need to have a fund that's for fun.
Yes. I don't believe in not vacationing, because for me, vacationing has always been like a way for me to revitalize and go back to work refreshed. So I like to encourage my clients to make sure that they're taking time for their hobbies. What does that look like? Do we need to plan for that? Or a vacation?
And do you say, like, set up a vacation fund? Like, set up something where they can put money into it for that?
It's always good to have a pot of money that you're setting aside. And it could just be intertwined with your emergency funds, where you're like, okay, I'm going to set aside this much monthly, and the emergency fund is this, but everything above that can be, a down payment for my next car or the vacation.
I think we should have a mental health fund. I think we need a mental health fund. I'm gonna
That's what
make
the vacation's about.
Right.
Yes.
So we can have good mental health. Everybody needs that. Well, and I did want to give you guys a statistic, because obviously habits, right? We have to create habits. So scientific research indicates that it takes about an average of 66 days for a behavior to become part of your lifestyle routine. In other words, a habit. So you kind of got to get started now to make these habits.
Well, and I don't know how true this is. I read somewhere that it takes someone 7 times to quit smoking, right? Just to equate that, like, sometimes we need to try something a couple times before it actually sticks.
Yes. Okay, so now I want to switch topics a little bit. The buzzwords around here are Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Yes.
And it seems like it's going mainstream. Every time I'm on the news, every time I'm watching something, it's all about this. So I just heard that Fidelity is the first company offering Bitcoin as an investment, and that's going to happen this quarter. Very interesting. So what is your take on this? What would you say about this?
I think that the main attraction for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency really lays in the technology, the blockchain technology. Right now, if you look at the cryptocurrency since October, it has basically gone, and it's now tracking with the market and its ups and downs. And the original point of having the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency in the first place was that it was going to be opposite of the market.
Oh.
And so I'm just not really sure. I'm not really sure that it is the play that people, it may not be the same play that it was 5 years ago.
Right.
But I still think it's a form of diversification for someone. It likely has a permanent role in our financial house going forward, but I'm not really sure where that is.
Okay.
Because it doesn't look like it's diversification from stocks.
Okay. So you think that people should just educate themselves on this?
Yeah, they should. You can't, and the idea that you can buy it and it's always doubling, that may have been the case 5 years ago. It's not the case right now. And I've heard now, February is going to be the big pop, and then February came and went, and it's still tracked to the stock market. So I don't know.
Well, that's good. I think educating yourself is important before you jump into anything like that. I think that's very, very, research, just like you would with any
and diversification.
person.
You have your investments, you can have some real estate, you can have some cryptocurrency. It doesn't mean that you have to buy all into one market.
Okay. Great advice. So I have to ask you what your goals are for 2022, because I know you're always traveling and doing amazing things.
My goals, I do have my trip planned, I call it the bucket list trip to Kenya. But really, I think my goal is to spend, I've done financial planning now for 20 years. And I'm at that point where I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my clients, I'm growing my business, but I'm having a little bit more balance with the family.
I love that. I think that's so important. And I'm excited for your Kenya trip. So when you come back on the show next time, you'll have to show us pictures.
Absolutely.
I want to see it all. Well, so everybody can go to trilogyfs.com, San Diego team. We have everything on the website.
Or it could be /Windus. Trilogyfs.com /Windus will also take you to it, but you can also go to the San Diego team.
Perfect. And then also you would do a consultation for viewers as well.
We always do a consultation with our clients because we want to make sure that we understand your situation and that we're a good fit for you.
I love that. Well, thanks for being on the show and being such a great resource. We love having you.
Thank you.
We're so excited. Okay, you guys, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to show you some behind the scenes footage of this fabulous photo shoot that I documented with Antoine from 147 Photos, who I know you know.
I love Antoine.
We love Antoine. So we're going to show you a little sneak peek of this and a quick commercial. And then when we come back, we're talking all things real estate with Bridget Potterton. We'll see you in a second. Hi, I'm Cindy Mattalucci, the creator and host of the Pulse TV show and live stream show. My passion is storytelling through video, and I'm most passionate about telling the stories of local businesses and entrepreneurs to help them connect with their ideal customers. I would like to invite you as a guest on the Pulse so we can tell your story in a fun and hip way. Our television show is broadcast every Thursday at 4 p.m. on Channel 4 and other markets. Our live stream show is live every Friday at 11 a.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and our website. Just hit the button below to schedule a meeting and we can discuss the different ways the Pulse can help elevate your brand. I look forward to creating a buzz around you and your company.
Bring your chin down. Chin down. Well, I like that eyebrow thing. That one. Bring your chin down.
It's sultry.
Look at me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your host, Cindy Mattalucci. I hope you enjoyed that behind the scenes clip of Israel. Wait till you see everything. I'm so excited for the final video as well as the final photos. So we will be sharing that with you, and we love Antoine. So shout out to 147 Photos. Okay, you guys, so we want to welcome you back. We've got our expert in real estate today. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the market. So we love having Bridget Potterton from Keller Williams and Bridge Coast Realty back.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for having me back.
We love to have you. We always have such a great conversation. So I want to dive into some things, but before we get started, I want to talk about what you do with your team because you're amazing. Give us a little snapshot of what you do.
Well, it's been an interesting couple of years, and certainly my team has grown and changed, and I've got a lot of things that we're involved in the community. We're very focused on giving back and things like that. So that's a lot of what we, our push, not just to help our own clients, but to help others. Very involved in the Salvation Army, Blissful Seeds, and lots of other great organizations. So that's really our focus, is giving back into the community, and our team's focus as well.
Well, and I love your mission statement too, is that you pledge to be really constant in communication with your clients and that your clients come first. So every step of the process, you really work with them through everything.
Absolutely.
We love that. I can attest to that too because she sold me my first home. So today, you guys, I want to jump into this conversation because everybody is talking about the interest rates. Mm-hmm. It's on everyone's minds. It's on the news. They're saying there's going to be an interest rate raise. I think there was just a half point raise just recently. So I want to know, with your expertise, how is this going to affect the market?
That's a really good question. So the good news is that if you are a buyer right now and you're out there struggling, you're writing offer after offer, you're frustrated from getting outbid, the good news is that we're probably going to see a bit of a slowdown. I can already see it just within the last couple weeks of what's going on. So that's the good news. The bad news, of course, is that the home is going to cost you more that you're going to buy. So it could cost you, depending on the price point, a couple $100s to even over $1,000 more a month. Wow. For your payment. It just depends on the price point, how much you're putting down, and a lot of factors. But like I said, the plus side is that you're probably going to see a little bit less competition here in the next short while. And also, one of the exciting things is that we're finally starting to see an increase in our inventory.
Wow.
I think the last time I was on, we had about probably 13 or 1,400 homes and condos on the market. And just last week, we finally hit over the 2,000 mark. Now, that is still an anemic market. We are far from a what we would call a normal market that we haven't had for a very long time. That's more like 8,000 to 10,000 homes.
Wow.
But we're starting to see a little increase, and so hopefully that will give buyers a little bit of relief.
So it's a seller's market, though.
It is still a seller's market,
Okay.
very much so, and that's probably not going to change for a while. So if you're a homeowner and you're thinking about selling, don't be scared by the good news for the buyer. There's some good news for you as well. I mean, certainly we're not going to see price drops. There's no indication of that anytime soon. Eventually, we might see a bit more of a correction, but when you're going to start hearing the media, the national media, and even our local media talk about, oh, the market's softening, or oh, the sales are down 5% or 2% or whatever that they're going to report. But a lot of times that can be misleading. What that really means is there was less homes sold that month. The prices didn't go down. So make sure you know the difference. Prices are probably not going to go down for a while, even if we see them flatline, down the road.
Well, and I was just at an event the other day, and everybody was talking about how expensive it is to live in San Diego. It's one of the most expensive cities. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this when it comes to the cost of homes?
Absolutely. I mean, we joke that here in San Diego you have to pay the sunshine tax. We're definitely one of the most expensive. And I think we were talking about that there was an article that came out last month that San Diego is now the least affordable metropolitan city in the entire United States, knocking out a few others up north of us, like the Bay Area and Los Angeles.
Like San Francisco.
Yeah, that's definitely not a race that we want to win. However, that does not mean that we are more expensive than those areas. It just means based on affordability. So remember, the Bay Area, they've got a lot more tech jobs. They have higher paying jobs than we do. So their median income is significantly higher than ours. It just means that our median income here versus what the cost of the home is less affordable. That's essentially what it means.
Well, and according to the New York Post, the median home sold price in San Diego climbed 14.3% in January to $764,000. But I think it's more now, the median price.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It wasn't that long ago that we were telling people, oh, the median is $575,000, and back then we thought that was a lot. And even then, San Diego was not affordable. If you look at our median income, which median household income is still around $65,000 per year. Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Mm-hmm. So, okay, there's a lot of buzzwords about luxury real estate, right? I wanted to show you my new property that I want to buy. It's called the Crown Manor, CM. It's got my initials on it. So I just wanted to run a picture because San Diego, SoCal, I mean, we have some properties that you would not believe. This is $36 million. It's in Coronado. It's on Ocean Boulevard. I'm dying for this. Its most iconic state of Coronado. It now can be yours. Frequented by U.S. presidents, global dignitaries, celebrities. The illustrious showplace faces the Pacific, offers grand views from Point Loma, across the sand and crystal clear waters to Mexico. You guys, it's got red brick exterior, surrounded by a fortified gated garden. It's got lions in the front, which I love. Marble floors, I mean, insane. We're showing you some pictures of it. I love it. I think there's a dining room for more than 20 guests. There's an eat and breakfast area. So this can be yours for $36 million, and it's 12 bedrooms.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not the listing agent on it. However, maybe we can go see it.
Can we go do? I know.
Absolutely. Let's go see it.
That would be amazing. Well, the one thing I wanted to bring up with you is you always have the best listings. I love it. So let's talk about some stuff that you have on the market because you've got some great properties.
Yeah, I actually do have a couple of listings on the market right now. I know listings don't tend to last very long. So I've got a couple. I've got a great property out in San Marcos right now on 15 Montiel. It's a beautiful property with a chef's kitchen, great location, nearby Costco, convenient to several freeways. So if you're worried about commute, that's not really a factor too much. And beautiful yard. They actually have 3 outdoor spaces in this house. It's really unique the way that they designed it, but it's absolutely amazing. It's got solar, all the things that are important. Large bedrooms. So that's a great property. Then I have another one actually in El Cajon on 1428 Emerald. This one is also going to go quickly. We have open houses actually for both this weekend, so feel free to stop by if you're in the market for either of those areas. But the one in Emerald is also remodeled. It's got a great size backyard. It's actually the next house down below Kimberly Woods, which is a really desirable area
that's nice.
in San Diego. Yeah, so make sure you check it out if you're out looking for homes this weekend.
And they're both about 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, so one is 1,999 square feet. I know, it couldn't give us that extra foot.
A little extra.
Mm-hmm. And the other one is 1,687 square feet. However, it's got a huge bonus space that actually puts you over 2,100 square feet.
That's amazing. And the open houses are what, 5'7" and 5'8" for both?
Yes, we have them both Saturday and Sunday, so come on by.
And we'll have that on the website too, the times and everything, so we can come visit you. I love that. Okay, so I want to talk about a little rumor. I heard that you're part of the new luxury sports and entertainment division of Keller Williams. So can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so I am a member of the luxury division of Keller Williams, and then we also have a separate sports and entertainment. And they really do coincide quite well. Sports and entertainment, so when we have a group of us from around the country and actually around the world now, because we are international, where we can refer each other business. There's a lot of business being what we do is we help athletes, we help musicians, we help artists, we help people in the entertainment industry. Oftentimes they need short-term housing, maybe if they're trying out for a team or if they spring training, or they just need somewhere to live for 3 months. So sometimes it's finding them, good housing for short-term, and then sometimes it's they got traded somewhere else, so they're going to be listing their home and then moving somewhere else and then being able to refer them to somebody who specializes in that as well. And then the luxury market, back in San Diego, I should say back before the pandemic, about just over 2 years ago, luxury was actually about $1 million. That's about where our luxury started, and that's not the case anymore.
Oh my gosh!
If you're a buyer right now, you probably know that $1 million does not get you a luxury property anymore. So now we're actually more like 1.3, 1.4 is our starter luxury market here in San Diego.
But if you're thinking about selling, it's still a good time to sell.
Yes, it absolutely is. You're still going to probably sell your home quickly as long as you have a great realtor. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, pricing your home correctly is so critical, especially now as we're starting to see things shift just a little bit. Price is more important than it has been. The last couple of years, you could get away with overpricing your house and you'll still sell it for a good price. You're going to start to see that change a little bit. So it really is more important than ever to make sure that you hire a great professional that can help advise you on where the price needs to be.
But you also have a home evaluation on your site that people can go on and see what their home is worth?
You can, absolutely. Okay. You can check that out. I mean, there's a lot of websites out there that also give those like Zestimates and things like that. It's not always very accurate by just using a computer algorithm. Sometimes it could be 5-10%, which doesn't sound like that much, but when we're talking about $1 million home, that is pretty significant. So it's always important to get a true valuation from a real estate broker, a realtor, or an appraiser.
I love it. And you have brought some stuff today. We have to talk about the gifts. Mm-hmm. One thing I love about Bridget is it's like every single month there's a great gift that she leaves on the door or she gives to us. It's amazing. They're very cute and custom and tailored and I love it. So what do you have with you today?
Well, so today it's saving me the trouble of having to drop them off at your house. So today I brought a couple things. One, we love to support the Girl Scouts. There was a shortage of Thin Mints this year. Normally I do Thin Mints. Yeah, I don't know if you've all tried to get Thin Mints, but it's a fight out there to get Thin Mints. So today I brought you Samoas. I think when we were Girl Scouts, I think they used to call them Caramel Delights or something like that. But yeah, Samoas, and I also, yeah.
Can we just look at this for a second, you guys? Can we click on this? I'd love to have Samoa your referrals.
I came up with that myself. I'm really proud, actually.
I love this, you guys. You got to check this. But what I love about your stuff, it's very custom and tailored. It's always just amazing.
Well, when you buy or sell a home, that's a very intimate relationship you get into with somebody. It's a big deal. I mean, during that process, they're expecting you to walk them through a pretty stressful, challenging time. And you build a bond. I have clients that have invited me to their weddings. I have clients that have invited me to their baby showers. I had one lady put me in her will that her kids have to sell the property with me when she dies.
I love that.
So I didn't even know you could do that. But yes, apparently that's a thing.
And you just did a great little client thing at Julep too.
Yes, which is a
That
great
looked
venue.
amazing.
Great venue. Yeah, so we did a little COVID client party. I know it sounds corny, but a little housewarming for the last 2 years. I haven't been able to take out any clients. We haven't had any housewarming parties. There hasn't really been a lot of celebration. And I thought, you know what? How about we just have them all celebrate together? And so they all got corny awards for, like, one of my clients. Every other time we go out and look at property, we were exposed to COVID. So they got the Did I Give You COVID award. We had, the most resilient client award. We had awards for the client that wrote the most offers before getting theirs accepted. You have to have a little fun with it, right?
I love that. Well, we love having you on the show, and the best way for people to get in touch with you is to go to your website, right? ComeHomeToSanDiego.com.
Absolutely.
And you do consultations as well.
Absolutely. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, I'm more than happy to chat with you. My team and I can come up with a custom plan to help you decide whether or not right now is the right time to make a move.
We love it. And if you guys have questions for Bridget, we can get those answered. Hit us up, let us know. We'll put you in touch. Well, thanks for being here. We love talking with you, and we always feel better about the market.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys, so that's going to do it for today's episode. I want to show you, don't forget Gator by the Bay. The festival started last night, it kicked off, and we are going to be there today too. So we'll be showing you some behind the scenes a little bit later of Gator by the Bay Festival. But this is just like Louisiana happening in San Diego. It's like New Orleans happening here. There's music, there's dancing. We loved having Peter on the show to tell you all about it. So you still can get your tickets. We have everything on the website. It's Gator by the Bay Festival. It's all weekend. What a great Mother's Day weekend thing to do. You can bring the kids as well. And we just want to say Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much.
All right, you guys, we'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. Bye.